to Fiona, and she says she went to the school.
Yeah, I know. I just spoke to Fiona now. Johnny,
Yes, sir.
how are you, Johnny?
Good.
Yeah, switch off the recorder. We don't need it till he comes.
What?
Mario,
Oh, the
Yeah?
recorder.
don't record now. Just wait until he comes.
Okay.
Sonic test 99. Hamid Bay's near the bottom. Hamare dinner l'shulchan. There's a money changer. And a person would show his coins to the money changer, and the money changer would tell him if it's a good coin or not. And he told him it's a good coin. V'nim sarah. And it turns out that it was a bad coin, and he lost money because of it. Tani chada umen potter. That if the money changer was an expert, then he's allowed to make a mistake, and he would be potter. But hedyot, if it was a person who should not have been involved in making that kind of decision, he's chayiv. Tanya idich. Another brisa says bein umen bein hedyot chayiv. Either way, he's chayiv. Amrav Papa, ki tanya shumen potter. When do we say that an expert is potter? Kagon danku v'isser. These were two famous money changers. Shalotzrichi lemigmer klal. They were experts. They don't have to learn anything new. So there, if they made a mistake, they're not chai. They were not negligent.
It's so hard to understand that.
It's like an expert surgeon. If somebody gets a complication, so it's not malpractice because he wasn't negligent. Somebody doesn't know what he's doing, operates on somebody and kills him, he's chayiv. We have a different concept of liability in America because of the plaintiff bar. But the concept is if you're an expert, you're given leeway.
Okay.
I mean, l'chora, that seems what's going on. So if Danku v'Isser knew everything, how did they make a mistake? So Tohu b'sichte charita. They made a mistake in a new coinage that was just recently issued. So they didn't, it's just recent issuance of a coin. The Rav Chia. A woman showed Rav Chia a coin. It's a good coin, he said. I showed it to somebody else, that it's not a good, and people will not accept it. So Rav Chia said to Rav Zil Chalfei Nil, give her another coin. Because of our pinkasi, din asek bish. This is some kind of loss that shouldn't have happened. So umayshna danku v'isra deptiri. We said if danku v'isra made a mistake, they would not have to repay the person. Mishum de lo tzrichi lemigma. They knew everything. Rav Chia nami lav lemigma kaboy. Rav Chia is an expert just like them. Why is he paying? So he's not paying Mikra Din. Rav Chia lifnei Mishuras Adinu though. He's going beyond Din. Like a chassid. Kidatani Rav Yosef. There's a pasuk in Shmos. והודעת להם את הדרך ילכו בו, ואת המעשה אשר יעשו. והודעת להם זה בייס חייהם. They have to know Torah. Es haderech zu gemilas chasodim. They have to do gemilas chesed. Yelchu zu bikir choylim. Ba zu kvura. Es hamase ze din. Asher yasu zu lifnei mishra sadun. That the Torah itself tells you that you should act lifnei mishra sadun. Reish Lakish achvi le dinra. The Rabbi Lozer. Reish Lakish showed a coin to Rabbi Lozer. Amar al Yehi. He said it's a good coin. Amar lechazi dalcha kasamich. So he pointed out to Rabbi Lozer, listen, I'm relying on you. Amar le ki somachta lai mailamim. What are you telling me by the fact that you're telling me you're relying on me? That what? The imishkachas bi shabin lachlut lacha? That if it turns out not to be a good coin, I have to pay you back. The ha'at, you yourself, sha'amrit, Rav Meirhu, dedoin dina de garmi. That if you don't cause a direct damage, but it's a grumma, it's something secondary that caused something. Rav Meir's mechayev, somebody who sort of causes a loss, not directly. And my lab, that Rav Meir velosvir lon kavose, that's the sheet of Rav Meir, but you don't hold it, Rav Meir. Amalei lo, Rav Meir he usvir le kavose. It is the sheet of Rav Meir, and I hold like him. Now, hey Rav Meir, which Rav Meir relates to this case? Ilem Rav Meir, Dalid Lamed Mem Pei Simen. These are Roshei Tevis for the following cases. This is not Dan, that's the Dalid. Dan is Adin. If a judge rules on a case and he made a mistake, Zichei Esachai, someone who was really guilty to pay, he ruled that he didn't have to pay. And the opposite, Chayv Zakai, or Timei Sator. He said that a piece of meat that was Torah, he said it was Tomei, or vice versa, Tir Satomei. And through those psak, he caused a financial loss. So Masha Asa Asui, they don't change the status of what he paskined on. However, Yishalami Beso, from his private funds, he has to make good on it to the person he made lose money. Now, this is only a grumma to a hefsid. It's not a direct hefsid through direct action. So is this the Rav Meir that's the source for grumma? So Mar says, no, ha'itmar Allah, amar b'lo amar Rav. This is not just a psak din of the dayan. He actually, hu shenatal v'nasan biyad. He took money with his hand from one guy and gave it to the other guy. So this was a maisa. So it's not a grama only. El Elohad Rav Meir. It's a different Rav Meir. It's not. He gives some wool to a dyer. Litzbolo Edom Mitzvah Shachar. He said it should be dyed red, and the dyer dyed it black, or vice versa. Shachar Mitzvah Edom. Rav Meir Omer Noisan Lod Meitzmar. You have the craftsman has to pay the value of the wool. Now that's not a grama without action, because Hosam Ka'avid be a dayim. He did a Maisa Kilkul. El Elohar Rav Meir. It's not. Hamesache Kafno Gabi Tvosa Shel Chaveru. A person poured or covered, he took grapes and he put it on produce of his friend. Now that's Klaya Keret. Areza Kidesh, V'chayim. And he damaged the Balatvua, and he has to pay the owner of the grape. So there's no raya from there about Grum. Also, Nami Ka'avid might be a dime. He did a physical act. Ela laharav, the Tanya. Mechitzas hakerem shenifetz. You have a vineyard right next to a wheat field, but there's a fence, and the fence fell down. Now, the owner of the grain field tells the owner of the vineyard, Omer lo gdor, fix it. Fix this defect in the fence. Because if your vineyard keeps on growing, it's going to prohibit my grain as Klai Karen. Nifritza. It gets broken again, and Omer lo gdor. Nisyash b'men of lo gadru. And then he forgot to fix it, and it grew, and it mixed with the grain. Reza Kiddush. The grain is prohibited. V'chayiv b'achriyuso. And the owner of the vineyard has to pay for the damage. Now, here, there was no Maisa. He refrained from action by not fixing the fence. Yet he's chayiv for the grama. So this is the source for Rav Meir holding that we dan dina de garmi. Mishnah. Hanoisen semerlet saba. Person gave wool to a dyer. Vigdicha yora. And he put it in a cauldron and it burnt the wool. And it was no improvement in the wool. It's a direct financial loss. Noisen loyd made sabra. He gives to the owner of the wool the money that the wool was worth. Sava ko'or, it means it was an ugly dyeing. The dye didn't take well. So then we have to do evaluation. Im hashevach yoser li'etzia. Let's say it was $100 wool. Now that it's dyed, it's worth $150. And he spent $30 on the expenses. So the shvach is more valuable than the yitzia. So nosen lo es a yitzia. He gives the cost that it took to improve it. In my yitzia yiser la shvach. If it's now worth 150 and the expenses were 80, nois la shvach, he pays the lower amount. Litzbolo. Now, if the owner of the wool contracted with the dyer, Litzbolo Edo, it's over shachar. He wanted it red and it was dyed black, or vice versa. Shachar v'tzovo Edom. Rav Meir Oimer. Noisin to make samra. The dyer has to pay to the owner of the wool the value of the wool that was given. Rav Yehuda Oimer, no. If the improvement is more valuable than the expense, he gives to the owner the yitzia and he keeps the shvach. He gives him the shvach. My ko'or, what does it mean, ko'or? Kalbus. My kalbus, Amr Rabbi Shmuel, kafra dudi. He used leftover dye material, the shirayim, which aren't really very good. So therefore the dyeing was not a very good dyeing. Okay, we'll stop here.
You don't want to. I mean, we're a little bit behind. Okay.
No, tomorrow we'll learn at 7:15.
Okay, shkoyach.